Hey guys, it's Venus Crystal here. Sorry if the podcast sounds a little bit weird and cut off and there's no intro. Well, I might actually do an intro to this. I don't know. But, yeah, I had to host the podcast because Star Williams wasn't able to make it this week. And I'm not, the best with doing the podcast. That's why it's his thing. So, yeah. Welcome to the Truly Imagination Entertainment Podcast. With special guest Logan.
Anyway, how has your acting stuff been going? Because we usually talk about that. I don't know. How's it going?
I'm glad you asked. It's been going good so far. I'd say the biggest project right now, The Hunchback of Notre Dame with the Ninth Hour Theater Company, which, by the way, for those who are interested, tickets are already out online, so get your tickets now. It has been going well. We've been given the month of July to sort of have a vacation and just learn our lines. And come August 7th, we're back to rehearsing again. Yours truly plays the role of Phoebus de Chateaupert, which, for anybody who has seen the Disney movie, he's nothing like how he is in the Disney movie. He is a womanizing, unrepentant, misogynist villain. One of my lines is, all women are the same, they just have different names to confuse me.
That's
the character I am.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I have, we recorded, I believe, the first episode, or otherwise first part of it, a radio drama that should hopefully get off the ground soon, referred to as Making of a Precedent, which is a docudrama about the history of jurisprudence across the Anglosphere and what certain events led to certain legal precedences. The first episode is dealing with the theme of cannibalism. Generally has things regarding around, like when sailors are out at sea, they run out of food, they draw lots, they eat each other. Now they go back to shore. How do we deal with this? Is this murder? Is this manslaughter? Is this legal? Is this illegal? All that. Yeah, those are the two major projects ongoing that I've been in. What about you, Venus? I've been yapping too much.
Well, I was in a thing yesterday. I don't think I can talk about it too much, but it was day 12 of 12, so I think they might be done filming. I don't know, though. But it was really fun. It was a horror movie, and I am in the first 30 seconds of the film because I'm just so pretty. I'm not even joking. The thing is I wore this really, bright red dress in the film, and, my mother's watching me. Go away, mother, I'm recording! And so I had done my hair, I had curled my hair, and I did my makeup really nice. So they're like, you have to be in the front. And I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. Because I am so beautiful. I must be seen. And Rory was there, which was very nice. It's nice to have someone there to keep me sane. And it was actually a very short night shoot. You'd think it would be until 2 a.m., but it was we'd leave at midnight. Woo!
Really?
Yeah.
Usually those things go on forever.
Yeah, you'd think, but it was nice. It's like a horror film. It's not like a big production company, so I think they're a lot more chill than what I'm used to, which is the insanity of Hallmark. It's been a very interesting summer.
Yeah? Tell me more.
Well, I've been doing a lot of things, so many things. Because I went to see Melanie Martinez in June, and then I went to see a friend of mine in Montreal, and then I went to 2 cottages, back to back, on the weekends, and then this weekend we're going to North Bay, and then next weekend me and my mother are going back to Montreal, and it's been a very interesting time. We're doing a lot of things. And then also another thing that will forever confuse me is the revenue of the Truly Imagination Entertainment Food with Fee videos, because the last video for some reason has a really low view count despite me actually putting effort into it, and a video that I put minimal effort into and was late being uploaded has 350 views. Why?
You're just our main moneymaker, what can I say?
Yes, but why is it when I put effort into something it doesn't perform, and when I don't do anything correctly it works? It's not fair.
Well, it's a valuable lesson to learn, Fiona, which is never try.
Yeah, seriously, I don't get it. It's literally my Canada Day cupcake video, and it's like, nothing interesting happens in that one. Like in the other ones, like, interesting.
Yeah, Canada Day, that's plenty interesting.
I know.
And Canada Day marked the I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 100 years since the forming of the Canadian Royal Air Force. So that was plenty interesting.
Oh, my grandfather was in the RCAF. He was cool.
Really?
Yeah, he served from 39 to 45 like a normal person would. Americans. Don't. That's my thing.
He was not a coward who cut off his fingers to avoid the war. He served out its entirety.
Yeah, and he got a medal for it because he served the entire time the war was going on. America. And actually, my great-grandfather, my dad's dad, he was in the RCAF too. He was a radar tower watchman, and my grandfather was also a radar tower watchman. Well, actually, my great-grandfather would try and like my grandfather would look for the planes. My great-grandfather, I don't fucking remember what he did. My dad told me yesterday when we were watching a movie, but yeah. And also my great-great-grandfather was in World War One. He lost an arm.
Really?
Yeah. It's very cool.
My word.
Yeah. No. It's very interesting. Yes, and also my grandfather fell off a radar tower and broke his back. But he lived and sired 5 children. Because they were just built different back then.
Honestly,
in 1949.
The entire radar tower isn't going to stop this man. He can't be stopped. You are you, but he is him.
He is relentless. Yeah, and he worked until, well, he did have to retire at some point because he got run over with a car and lived.
I like this idea that, like, otherwise he was gonna keep working, but it took for a car to run him over that he's like, man, maybe I should, like, I don't know, enjoy my golden years, like.
Yeah. Well, he got to stay in the Pearly, which is the veterans nursing home, which is actually, it was good back then. It was low-key kind of good because it had a pub and you could go drink.
Okay. And
Give alcohol to the veterans.
We can't have nice things.
Well, they still have beer there. I only know that because my grandmother's second husband was also a part of, he was part of the Peace Corps. So he got to stay in the veterans home as well. So okay, that's where he went.
Might be a dumb question, but what is the Peace Corps? I legitimately
You go to places that are war-torn and you do peacekeeping. And that's all I know.
But, like, unless I'm wrong, like, I've always, like, sort of been given the perception, just with how people talk about the Peace Corps, it's kind of just like, I don't know, summer camp for, like, high school graduates, like, you know, if you don't want to go right to college, well, go join the Peace Corps. And if you're going to countries to do peacekeeping, I'm sorry, they just let high school graduates do that, like...
Let high school graduates join the military.
That's true. I cannot...
You can die for your country, but you can't take a drink. America.
Well, hold on. No, if you're American. If you're
American.
Depends on the province.
Yeah, and the province. If you can drink it either 19 or 18, depending on where you are. Either Alberta or Quebec, or Ontario or Newfoundland. Just depends what we decide is normal. Although, what I will say, it doesn't matter on planes, because if you fly WestJet or Air Canada, because WestJet is an Albertan company and Air Canada is a Montreal company, the drinking age on a plane is always 18, so you can get drunk on a plane no matter what.
Let's go.
I learned that.
I like to think that then 18-year-olds who just can't wait to drink just book a flight to just wherever. Immediately the waitress, whatever her name is, comes by. They order something. It's like, it's like, yeah. So, look, I'm 18, but that doesn't matter. You sure you're on WestJet? It's okay.
Yeah, it's like we're flying to Ontario from BC, but we're an Albertan company. You can have as much vodka as you want, darling. Don't worry about a thing.
Passengers, we are 20 minutes away from Arnprior. Like, chug, chug, chug.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I learned that when I was going to Newfoundland, not Newfoundland, and then when I was going to Dublin, because we took WestJet, and my dad's like, yeah, Fee, you can drink because it's a WestJet plane, and you're 18, and also it was the legal drinking age in Dublin is like 18, so it was like, yay, I get to get drunk in Ireland. My rite of passage.
I can't fault you for mixing up Newfoundland and Dublin.
Well, because Newfoundland I went to last summer, and Dublin I went to before I went to college.
Oh, really? Is that what you're doing before performing arts?
Yep. Because I graduated high school, my parents are like, for your graduation, we shall go to Dublin. Which I'm not complaining about. It was the first time I'd went international in years.
So do you have any plans then to fly international again?
No. Air travel sucks.
Really? You'd say that?
Yeah, dude. It's horrible now. Ever since the pandemic, air travel... One, they lose your checked baggage, so we don't even use checked baggage. We do carry-on only now. Two, when we were flying to Newfoundland, they canceled our flight from 8 o'clock out to Newfoundland from Toronto, but the 12 o'clock flight wasn't canceled. It's like, oh, the 8 o'clock flight is canceled because of the hurricane, but the 12 o'clock flight isn't canceled for some reason, and then we had to pay $600 out of pocket to get our flight transferred because Air Canada wants us to kill ourselves.
It's so weird.
Oh, it's very weird. And then when we were trying to get back, the plane was 5 hours late, and we almost missed our plane home. So, yeah, no, air travel sucks.
I legitimately I have not used air travel since, like, we last moved. And I don't even think that was for moving purposes. So, wow, I did not know it went, like, that downhill.
Yeah, it sucks. Air travel was once nice. You didn't even need your passport. And there was no security. And then 9/11 happened. And here we are today. Thanks.
Could have carried a handgun on board.
Thanks.
But I'm a totally innocent person, so, like, you can trust me. But I could have done that, but no. Osama bin Laden needs to ruin it. Although...
Thanks, Bush.
There's a silver lining to this all, right?
Yeah.
I really need to thank my man, Osama bin Laden, for making sure that we get 50 Shades of Grey.
What? Oh, yes. I was very confused, and then I remembered the correlation between 9/11 and 50 Shades of Grey and the downfall of the Ellen Show and MCR and Stephanie Meyer and all that.
For those who are unaware, 9/11 happens, right? A certain Gerard Way witnesses this, and he's like, well, shoot, now I gotta make My Chemical Romance. I mean, it's written on the wall. My Chemical Romance happens. Some dude online sees this, and he's like, I'm gonna make a fan fiction out of that. It was so good, it got turned into Twilight, was it right, Twilight?
Yes, Stephanie Meyer.
Yeah. Stephanie Meyer, that's the one. Who's a Mormon, by the way, fun fact. And so after that, somebody saw this, and it's like, I'm going to make that even better. They made a Twilight fan fiction, so a fan fiction of a fan fiction, if you may. And that fan fiction was so good, it turned into 50 Shades of Grey. And I don't know the Ellen connection, so I'm going to let you take the wheel from here.
So, the 50 Shades of Grey book was made, and then they made the 50 Shades of Grey movie, of which Dakota Johnson was cast. And Dakota Johnson, if you don't know, went on the Ellen Show, and there was a point where Ellen was like, "You didn't invite me to your birthday party." And then Dakota Johnson goes, "Well, Ellen, that's simply not true." And then people say that single-handedly led to the downfall of the Ellen Show somehow. I don't know. But that's the correlation.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. Anything to knock that woman down a peg.
Yes, the most evil lesbian of them all. It's a shame. Her wife was attractive and was in a werewolf movie once.
That's all we care to know about her.
Yeah. Portia, the only thing I know about you is that you were in a werewolf movie once, and Eminem made fun of you in a song. He asked what Ellen DeGeneres had that he didn't. I don't know actually what she had that Eminem didn't. I think they're both kind of off people.
Eminem? Like the rapper?
Yes, Eminem. You know the song We Made You by Eminem?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really listen to rap all that much. So, like, I know Eminem, and I'm sure if, like, you played the song, I'd be like, oh, that's Eminem. But I can't, like, I couldn't sing the song to you.
So back in the day, there was a song by Eminem, which weirdly enough features Trisha Paytas, back when she was an actress.
Okay.
She's supposed to be a parody of Jessica Simpson, because this was back when Jessica Simpson was getting shamed for being, like, fat and wearing mom jeans, even though she was, like, fine. So Trisha Paytas was a parody of Jessica Simpson at the time. And it was, like, the music video for it is, like, a bootleg Rock of Love. He's dressed up as the host from Rock of Love. And he has, like, this fake Kim Kardashian character. He has a fake Lindsay Lohan character with her, like, what was her girlfriend at the time, because apparently she was dating a woman or something. And then there's, like, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia, and Amy Winehouse is there for, well, not the real Amy Winehouse. She wasn't dead, but she wasn't part of this. And it was, like, a parody song where he just, like, talks about celebrities. And yeah, Trisha Paytas is in it, and she dances around, and it's kind of cool, but, yeah. There's a line where he says, "Sorry, Portia, what's Ellen DeGeneres have that I don't? Are you telling me tenderness?" And that's a thing that Eminem did. He did a lot of things.
So I know this is a broad question, but just because I'm not really caught the loop about any of this, is Eminem a bad guy? Is he a good guy? What's the dealio?
Well, he was a controversial figure back in the day because he would say really controversial shit, you know?
Like, how controversial?
Homophobic. Well, he was a massive homophobe, and people will be like, "No, it's just his lyrics." It's like, no, he was homophobic. He's not anymore. So, like, it's fine. It was the 2000s. People can change. And except
Which strikes me as a bit odd, because isn't, like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but just, isn't he friends with Elton John? He
is. I don't know. It's just his lyrics were very homophobic. Like, he would say the F slur a lot and make fun of gay people, but I don't know. I don't claim to know. I was like, 1 or 2 when the stuff came out, so I have no idea. Someone is creaking floorboards above me, and I don't know who it is, but I don't know why they're standing in the exact spot above my head.
Don't worry.
What is going on up there? There's people slamming the floorboards right above my head. Why is it right above my head? The world wants to torture me.
He doesn't like us talking about it.
Yeah, the M&M gods are angry at me. I don't know. I don't know why, but that is how it is. So.
We were talking about Gerard Way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I read this fact the other day. Apparently, Gerard Way, very, very loosely, but he is related to none other than Joe Rogan.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think the two have ever met, but that's still just crazy to me that the two are somehow related.
The Gerard Way. He wrote The Umbrella Academy that I never watched because... It's funny, I never watched Umbrella Academy because a girl that I knew in high school who was really mean to me liked it. So I was like, well, I'm not watching it because if someone like you can enjoy it, then it must be bad. To be fair, she also liked Ouran something fuck high school host thing.
Oh,
Whatever that is. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I was roped into watching
The thing with the incest brothers.
Yeah, no, so I always found that weird. I don't know what the deal with that was. I know some people try and rush to the defense of it and be like, oh, it's a commentary, you know, it's like these rich people. Like, no, it's incest. I don't like it. But I tapped out at the episode, which anybody who's seen it will know what I'm talking about, the Nazi lesbians episode.
The what? What?
I'm going off of very faint memories here, so I'm probably not describing it very well. But there was an episode where lesbians from another school or whatever come in to like antagonize the host club or whatever. And they're Nazis. They do the fascist salute and everything. And
I mean, it's Japan, but still.
Yeah, who were they with during the Second World War?
I mean, it's like JoJo in the second season with the
Yeah.
German science is the best science. But oh my god. Yeah, because that would be a definite thing that would... Yeah, there were definitely Nazi lesbians. You know, the people that were pursued by them. Well, they weren't pursued because you could just put them with a man and everything would be okay.
I will say, though, the oddest part to me about the Nazi lesbian episode was the main character, for lack of a better word, the blonde head. I don't remember his name.
It doesn't matter.
The wildest part to me is he didn't take issue with Nazis. He took issue with lesbians, going as far as to make theological justification, if you may, saying something along the lines of, if God intended for this, why did he make Adam and Eve? Which I don't even know if the character's a professing Christian, but I guess he is now.
I just love that. I mean, that sounds like, yes, that just makes sense, honestly. Like, in an anime especially, it's like that line from Community where it's like, I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. Like, that's what it feels like.
You can excuse
racism,
Nazism, but I draw the line at lesbianism. You can excuse Nazism.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what, yeah, and I was also subjected to watching Urani Nani Fanani Punani High School Club. As in, I was sat down with my friends and like, watch this, and then the intro goes on, and I'm like, oh, this is cancer. I don't like this. And it was like this weird.
No, it's really good, bro. It's like, no, there's
why are we in Wonderland, and why is her mom dead? This makes no sense.
No, bro, it's fire. It's like, no, there's twins who are incestuous. This isn't okay. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, no,
I'm not watching this. Look!
I also this same girl, her favorite JoJo character is Giorno, and it's like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. You're also very bland and not as interesting as the other JoJos. You are the son of Dio.
Be blasphemous of me, but you're gonna have to explain to me, what that means in this case, because I haven't
Giorno is the fifth JoJo. Basically, he's the son of Dio, and he's an Italian guy. He's in Italy. He's not Italian. Well, he's Italian. He lives in Italy. He's trying to be the mafia boss of Italy, which he does succeed in doing. Spoilers, by the way, but I don't care. But, like, out of all the JoJos, he's very powerful. But my god, does he have the personality of a dry piece of penne. He's not the most interesting Joj. He does drink piss, and then there is a scene where it's like he's healing Mista, but it looks like he's sucking him off. It's a very beautiful scene. No, it's not. But he's, out of all the Jojes, he's got the least personality out of all of them. Like, even Jonathan Joestar had more.
Jonathan Joestar.
Even Jonathan Joestar, the first Joestar who only had a Hammond and a blown up boat and a dead dog, had more personality than Giorno Giovanna. That's my opinion. And also because this girl was a biatch. But, yeah, no. Her favorite character was Giorno, and then I actually got into JoJo, and I'm like, wow, I can see why. You're both bland as fuck.
I obviously know this isn't the case, but I'm getting the sense you only have beef with the girl because she has bad anime tastes.
Well, I also did because she was homophobic.
Well, no, obviously. I would like to think you're a bit more mature than it's like, oh, you like bad anime. It's on site.
I can excuse homophobia, but I draw the line at bad anime taste. No, and people can say, well, Fiona, you're assuming. It's like, no, she stopped talking to me after she learned I was gay. And then stopped talking to my friend after she learned she was gay. And then stopped talking to this other girl after she learned that she was pansexual.
Which means either she's gonna keep the charade on forever, or one day we're gonna hear that she came out of the closet.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, quite frankly, she dated a guy. So that's like, not to say that not to use that against her, but like, I remember she was dating a guy in high school, and I'm like, why? I get that he's smart, but how do you look at that face and say, yes, yeah, and it's like, no.
Still her number one hater.
I will be her number one hater. She was a bitch. She almost outed me to my parents. I will have infinite beef with that woman.
Yeah, no, that is bad.
Yeah, it's very bad. My parents wouldn't have cared, but still, dingus, like, why you gotta do that?
It's about the implications.
Yeah. And but that's how she was. She was toxin that came into my school and blasted everyone with her toxicity. And I don't know where she... Actually, I do know where she is now, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to dox her.
Yeah, no.
Remember, I know
standards.
I know her full legal name and address. I don't know her address, but I do know her full legal name because I remember things like that. That's the thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't dox her, but if I were, this would be her full legal name and address.
Yeah, it's like I could, but I shan't. I can do that with a lot of people though, because I remember a lot of people's last names, and if I could, and I can remember where people lived. Like if I've gone to their house, it's like I know where you live. Don't test me, even though I can't do anything because I don't like jail.
That's really funny, Fiona. I really hope you never dox me. We're like really good friends, right?
I don't know where you live, so.
Oh, okay, I'm going to keep it that way. No. To the girl who really liked Giorno and watched Urani, Kanani, Salami, Sakani, Sonobu, Shinobu, Zawardo, Falobu, why'd you watch Ouran High School Host Club? There! That's the name that I can... I used to say... Why did you watch it? I'm not judging.
Why'd you watch it? Why'd you watch Ouran High School Host Club? Why did people like Yuri on Ice? What?
Oh, Yuri on Ice. I remember people talking about that. Okay, it was bad? Got it.
It's about gay figure skaters. It's about gay Russian figure skaters. 3 things that don't go together.
I mean, I don't want to be like glib about it and be like, oh, you know, Russian and gay don't go in the same sentence. But I'm sure there's gay Russians out there.
There's definitely gay Russians. They're just not in Russia. And if they are, they won't be there for very long because they'll be dead.
So I gotta ask then, if you've seen the anime, is that sort of the angle they took with it?
No.
Or they just so happen to be gay and Russian?
They just so happen to... One of them is Russian. I don't know if the rest of them are Russian. I know that one of them is, because his name's Yuri. And then there's another Yuri. I don't know if the other Yuri is Russian. I think he might be Japanese. I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of guys getting nosebleeds over other guys. And I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this. But the reason I know about it is because the girls in my school would go on the ice rink in the winter, and they'd sing the theme song, except, there's a guy named Victor who's in love with one of the Yuris, I think, because there was a ship name called Victory, and they would sing, "We were born to ship Victory," and then I would be sitting there, very Fiona-esque of me, just be like, "What's Yuri on ice? I don't know what that is. I'm 12.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a very interesting time.
I will say this. If script writing has taught me anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abandon the idea that you will ever come up with an original plot. Like, make a good story. But don't worry about making it at all original, because I guarantee you, whatever you can think of, the Japanese beat us to.
Yeah.
There's an anime for everything.
Yeah, there's an anime for everything. And I mean everything. I've seen some scary stuff. Why was there an anime made about soda pop bottles? Why was there an anime made about an NSFW artist who was a guy's sister, and he's lusting after the sister, and he doesn't know it's his sister, and is... I don't want
I'm just so curious where they come up with this. Because I don't know if the Japanese industry works. Well, obviously, it probably does. But with my time in script writing, what I learned with the writer's room, right, is that there's a whole process to it. That a group of people need to get together, sit around a table, discuss this at length, and be like, yes, okay, so he's going to be in love with his sister, but he's not going to know that. But don't worry, there's no problem with that. We're not encouraging incest or anything. We're going to have to pass this off to a team of animators. We're going to have to look at this and be like, all right, fellas, how do we make this work? And they're going to have to give this to voice actors. They're going to have to agree to this. There's a whole process. And everyone along the way just said yes.
Yep. They do that a lot. They looked at the Spanish royal family and they were like, yes, we're doing that. That's what we're doing. We're taking inspiration from the very old Spanish royal family. I don't know. We're not talking about the new Spanish royal family, if there is one. The old one from 17, God knows when. Maybe even later. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. I would say Texas, but that's insulting, mildly.
Well, the Habsburgs.
Yeah, but no, it's like, why? It's your sister. Why would you? Maybe it's just me being an only child, but I think anyone can sympathize that you don't want to bang your sister. I
have siblings, and I can tell you, not for a moment has ever crossed my mind that it's like, oh, I'm gonna bang. No, you just don't think about that.
It's like when I used to work at Classics, and it'd be like, sexy stepfather, and I'm like, what? And it's like this young girl who's obviously probably my age, but it's like, oh God, no.
I can't help but think.
Oh.
I can't help but think that step sibling porn is just people with like genuine incest fetishes, but they aren't ready to admit it.
Yeah. That one.
Like, the principle is still the same, you guys.
And I used to look at the Peach stuff, which, if you don't know, Peach is a company that does like the schoolgirl themed stuff, which I don't care if they're the same age as me. It's still weird. It's like, oh no, they're the same age. They're like legal age girls. It's like, yeah, I know.
No,
but they're playing 16-year-olds. They have to go to a mental state in their brain as an actor and pretend to be 16 and then do porn. That's the issue.
Even if not that, it's still the fact that it's like they're specifically getting off on porn where the rationale behind it is that they're 16.
Yeah, and people can say like, oh, the legal consent age is 16. It's like, I understand that. But there's the Mann Act, one. There are a lot of specific rules when it comes to consent with people under the age of 18 that I've read. And even under the age of 16, there is stuff that happens. It's like my friend was like I had a friend who was 14 dating a 24-year-old. I don't care how you justify that. That's wrong. I don't care if...
Lawful but lawful, dude.
Yeah, I don't care if a 16-year-old can consent. If a 24-year-old is pursuing a 16-year-old, I don't, like, there's a problem there. That's not the consent problem. It's the why is a 24-year-old pursuing a 16-year-old? Even a 20-year-old. Or like, even I wouldn't pursue a 16-year-old. Like,
No.
I have nothing, like, I would not be, that's not a like, unless you are that, like, much of a social reject, which I think is the problem, is that's not always why people pursue people that are younger, but...
They were just fuckers. Like, they just are.
Yeah, but a lot of people do it because they can't get a person who is their age, because someone who's their age can see the bullshit, which is mainly probably why Onision picked the women he did, if we're gonna open that can of worms. But, like, if you are, like, I'm sorry, I don't care, like, how old you are, maybe 18 at the youngest, but again, I don't tolerate that kind of crap. Like, if you're someone who's over the age of 18, and you're, or over the age of 20 even, and you're pursuing 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, even 18-year-olds to a certain extent, I think that might be, you think you might need to sit down and reevaluate yourself. No offense. It's just...
100%.
Yeah. I don't know. People will say to me, like, oh, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it in the eyes of the law, but there's a lot wrong with it morally.
100%. Again, awful but lawful, right? And
Yeah.
I can't understand the rationale behind it. I really can't. I think people who do it, I mean, sure, there's probably the odd case, as you say, of them just genuinely being social rejects. I think they're predators, man. They're predators who know they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Why else would you be dating someone that young?
Well,
And it,
sometimes people can find connections, but again, I think that's, like, the one rare case out of the 20 million that exist.
honestly. And if that 16-year-old is as mature as a 24-year-old, that's a problem. Something went
Yeah.
wrong in their life.
No, that's
problem.
that's the thing. It's like if a 16-year-old is quote-unquote mature, because I was mature for my age, as in I could have conversations with adults at 18 because I was an only child and I was raised around more adults than children. But I wasn't matured out of trauma. If you're matured out of trauma, which I know a lot of people who are, they're not necessarily all right in the mind, which is fine. Yeah, I don't expect you to be. It's like, that's a fucked up thing to happen to someone.
It's your trauma. You're going through.
Yeah, but the thing is people prey on that and they'll be like, oh, you're so mature, like, you're so different from all these other 16-year-olds that are acting like normal 16-year-olds. You're just so different. Plus, you have the adultification of people of color that also can play a role into it. That can be a big issue. But, you know, I would walk past that section at work and just be like, I can't personally condone this. This is wrong. Weirdly enough, though, I never really got many people buying it. Which, even the old men didn't really buy it that much. They were mostly buying the lesbian porn.
I'm sure I'm the last person who needs to tell you this, but that porn is made for men.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. Although I don't necessarily... I will say, I don't watch porn for the reason it's made.
Yeah,
I watch it because some of the plots are just interesting. Like the ones like Lesbian Legal. I just think that's cool. It's like, oh, it's like Law and Order.
I need to ask you, as somebody who's graduated from script writing myself, and as you as a genuine certified bona fide lesbian,
Mhm.
And worked in the porn industry and all that. Well, I should say,
Kinda.
retail.
The distribution.
What is a common theme, if there is, amongst porn plots? What makes a porn plot? Because obviously they can't have a full Lord of the Rings lore dump on how the world works.
Yeah, yes and no, actually, because you'll have things like parodies, of Wizard of Oz, where they'll have parody and story writing, but you can also have porns that have story and plot progression, especially when you have things like swinger or bisexual stories where it's like, the multiple parties involved, like, the gardener, the socialite wife, the husband, and the gardener and the socialite wife, and the maid, and the butler, and stuff like that, and they'll write a whole, like, telenovela-esque thing. You'll also have things like Lesbian Legal, where it's like, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and it's like a continued series. But, like, people do write that kind of stuff with a story in mind. It's just that's a specific genre in itself, because you'll have the genre of, you just want the porn scenes, so it's just a compilation of porn scenes. Or you'll have ones with story. You'll have ones with the specific fetishes, whether that be interracial, bisexual, emo, Asian, black, whatever, like that kind of stuff. And but you can write that kind of stuff with a story in mind. A lot of people do that now, in the more modernized era of it. I know I saw a documentary on it. But yeah, no, you can write some porn with lore. It just, a lot of people don't do that because a lot of people aren't looking for that, but it's doable. Because some people want that.
Really? Some people...
Yeah.
Well, some people, it's like, to jack off to this, I need to know the ins and outs of the world building.
Well, yeah, why do you think Orange is the New Black was so popular? It was basically...
I never watched that one.
It's a prison show with a lot of sex scenes in it, but also a lot of story. So a lot of people would watch it for the sex scenes, but also get the story. And also Laura Prepon, who plays Hot Donna in that 70s show, was in it. So I think a lot of people were also just there for her.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And we are also reaching the end of our time here today. I recorded this in my, part of this was recorded in my voice memos, just in case something goes wrong. So I thankfully have a timer here, and so thank you very much for coming on, Logan. I very much appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
anytime.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so, yes, to everyone, thank you for watching. Please go subscribe to Truly Imagination Entertainment. Watch the Food with Fee videos. Please watch the most recent one where I made apple cake, because I worked really hard on it, and it needs some attention, because she's glorious. Please, but, check them all out. They're really good. I worked really hard on them. They have been climbing in views recently, and, yeah. Bye-bye!